Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So guys, I've got Othania joining me today. Hey, Othania.
Hey.
Guys, we have an absolute exciting success stories about money, how to manifest money. So we are going to talk about how to manifest money. We're going to share some client and some personal success stories. So definitely before we dive into it, Othania is available for coaching. Her clients are getting amazing success. Are you having any sales right now?
I am. I have a 50% off sale.
Excellent. Not lasting long, actually. I thought it was already over. So definitely check out the link in the description. And she does have a course on how to get rid of the third party. And people are getting so much success from it. So, I mean, it definitely 100% worth it. Really, really good course. I like her courses because, I love courses. And it's like an opportunity to actually sit down and, focus on what you're manifesting, because this is the secret to it, is spending time focusing on what you want, right? Instead of worrying about what you're going to eat, thinking about work, thinking about, other things, and taking the dog to the groom or the dog to the walk, planning the birthday party. It's like, let's take some time and let's build intentions on money, where that's going to come from, build intentions on your relationship, put some focus towards the big things that you want to manifest as well, right? So yeah, awesome. So let's dive into it. I'm excited to hear your success stories.
Yeah, so I have two personal success stories. And the first one is when I wiped out my student loan debt. And this is before this happens. I was probably 10 years ago, actually. This is before they even did the whole student loan forgiveness thing. Well, this is when I first really got into learning how to deliberately manifest. So I was doing a lot of things and I was having a lot of fun with it, and I was testing things out at the time. And I was like, okay, let's see if this really works. Whatever. If they're saying that this really works, let me see if I can do it with this. So I got a paper in the mail that was saying the amount and what I owed for my student loan. So I was like, okay. I looked at the paper and I was like, I don't have any student loans. This whole thing is wiped out. I don't have any student loans. So I left it alone. I went about my life, whatever the case may be. Maybe I want to say maybe 4 months, 3 to 4 months after, I went to just go check my credit report, just to go see how things were, and I didn't see my student loans. And I was like, okay, something must be wrong. I was like, where are my student loans? So I was looking, nothing. It was completely wiped out. I started to get paperwork saying that my loans were taken care of, and I did literally nothing but look at that paper when I first got it, when I was testing it out, and I was like, I don't have any student loans. I was like, this is all wiped out. And before you knew it, I took, I guess, a what do you call that, inspired action to go check my credit report, and voila, it came to me and showed me that it was gone, and it literally just happened like that.
Oh, I love that. You know what? It's so true too. Like that, I too got rid of my student loans and actually all my debt. So when I was younger, in my 20s, I racked up a whole bunch of debt. I had a student loan and I didn't even finish the course at that. Okay. So I didn't even finish the course that I had a student loan on, but that's beside the point. And the credit cards and all this other stuff. So then, and I couldn't even get a credit card. I had terrible credit. So I ended up, when I was in my 20s, hooking up with this guy, and we were together for like, what was it, 12 years. And so basically he had the truck in his name, the truck loan, he had the credit cards in his name. So I actually didn't need any credit cards. So I didn't bother dealing with it because I didn't want to deal with it. And then the whole time though, I was like, you know what? I'm like, I intend that, like, I'm debt free. I'm debt free. I would make intentions, but I never really had any sort of reason to go get a credit card or, a car loan or anything like that, because, it was always in my boyfriend's name. So we ended up breaking up, and it came time for me to get a car loan and a credit card on my own. So I was like, okay, so I was like prepared for the worst. I like saved up like a deposit. I begged my mom to be a co-signer for the car or whatever. And then I go there and I'm like, okay, let's hear the bad news. And I'm probably going to have to go to like some kind of debt repayment, like person or whatever. And I go and they were like, oh, you have no credit. Like, you're good. And I was like, what? They're like, oh, you didn't know? They're like, in like British Columbia, you're like, if you don't pay any of your debt, it just falls off after 7 years and a day. It gets stamp barred. And I was like, oh my God. Like, okay. So boom, I had no more debts, like, all of a sudden, right? And yeah, easy peasy, got the car, built my credit, and I've had perfect credit ever since, I mean, it's just so you don't have to worry about the how. The universe will do that for you. Like, meaning your subconscious will do that for you. If you're, affirming something, everybody and everything in your reality is conspiring to make it happen, right?
And I still to this day literally don't know what happened for my loans to get wiped out. I just know that it's gone.
I'm not going to try to find out what happened.
I just know it's gone. Like, and another thing, when I manifested $1,000 in about 2 hours. So my bank account, well, at the time, it was at where I was satisfied where it was on a daily. And then I noticed that my thoughts started getting out of line, and I noticed that my bank account started to deplete with my depleting thoughts. And so I noticed that my bank account started draining, literally. And I was like, okay, I don't know what the heck is about. Now I know what the heck was happening, but I was like, what the heck is happening at the time? But I need to switch my thoughts around. So what I did was I said something to myself like, okay, I'm going to let go. It's nothing that I can do at this point. My bank account, some way, somehow, is going to get back to how it was. I'm just going to trust. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm just going to trust. And this is when I was doing something else back then. And next thing you know, when I let it go, I said, I'm just going to trust. I think I started cleaning my room. I just started getting present in what I was doing. Next thing you know, I got a client call that came in. And I think he was involved with like the Philadelphia Eagles, like the owner or something like that. That phone call with that client, by the time I got off, was $1,023.
Exactly.
I mean, when you say something and you don't think about the how, but you just go about your business, it's like the best word I could describe for it is magic, because I don't know what other way to describe how it happens, because the how, you're never going to be able to really phantom how it's going to happen. You're just not. And that's what the least resistance is. And that's what you would want, because that's how it just flows to you easiest.
Exactly. You can figure out the how. Like, there's been many times, like, I was like returning these potatoes and I didn't have the receipt. And I said to Andrea, I'm like, I'm going to walk in there. The lady's going to recognize me and she's just going to give me the credit. And that's exactly how it happened. Like, point for point. And, but other time you don't need to worry about the how, and, I think, sometimes it's resistance. When I used to hear clients say this, and they'd be like, I want to manifest the how to prove that I can do this. Okay, you don't need to prove anything. You're constantly manifesting. And just because it didn't come exactly how you wanted it to come doesn't mean you didn't manifest it, right? Everything in your reality, the comment, the saying of the week is, I used to be into manifesting and then I stopped for a while and I've just gotten back into it again. And it's like, no, you can't stop. You never stop. You and the universe, you are one with everything. You are the same as money. Money is you. You are money. It's just energy, right? And if you say, okay, look at, 10,000 is coming to me right today, maybe it's not going to be today. It could be today, but it's coming to you. And, and that's it. Everybody in your reality is going to play a part in the money to get into your bank account, and it's completely up to you. And so don't fret over the how, and also, trust, you have to believe. You don't have to believe, in your intentions, because if you ask me I don't know, 7 years ago, did I believe that I am where I am today with Create Your Future and being married? I would say no. But the whole time I was intending all these things that I wouldn't believe that I would get. I believed my thoughts created, right? And you have to have the belief in your power, right? At the bare minimum, right?
Right. When I was affirming for that $1,000 to happen, I didn't know when I was gonna get it. I didn't know it was gonna happen that fast within about 2 hours. I was just like, okay, I know that it has to happen because I have things I have to pay. So the money has to come in some way, somehow. But it
Mhm.
was just amazing that it happened that fast. And it just showed me what happens when you don't oppose or have resistance to what you want.
Exactly. And persistence. I remember, this one time I needed this locked in retirement fund that I had gotten from this job. Actually, I needed it. And I was planning to spend it. Actually, I planned to spend it to start my business, start Create Your Future. But they said, nope, you can't take it out to your 65. You can't. And I just kept persisting, like, no, I'm going to use some of that money. I need that money. I don't want to work. I want to. And so I went to the bank and I was persisting so much in my mind. They actually found like a loophole. They actually found an exception that they could give me the money. Like, believe it, of course they could. Is none of this is real. Circumstances don't matter. I remember I had a client and she was worried about going to a debt repayment program. And, she said, because I don't want to focus on the debt. I want the debt gone. I want, it to be paid off. I need new appliances. I want, all my credit cards paid. She's like, but I don't know, should I go there? People say, don't go there because that's focusing on the problem. And I said, no, you know what? You manifest everything in your reality. This could be a bridge to what you actually, to get what you want. Funny thing was, okay, so we created all these intentions that her credit cards would be paid off. We could get new appliances, food would be in the fridge, rent will be paid, for months. And she goes to this program and it just so happens that this debt repayment place that helps people like refinance their debt has a new program going where a wealthy family is basically sponsoring a family in need that just and she said, you know what, it's funny, she's like, it had to be a single parent and you basically had to have 3 kids within these age groups, which fit me perfectly. So this rich family paid off all her credit cards, bought her a new fridge, new stove, washer, dryer, basically paid her rent, put groceries in there, and she got everything, right? Remember, you create everything in this reality, right? It can be any way that you want. And don't, when you start overthinking things like, okay, should I go there? Is that focusing on, don't overthink it, just assume that every opportunity that opens up to you is going to solve your problem, right?
Exactly. And when it comes to money too, another thing you have to be mindful of is like, how do you feel when you're spending? How do you who are you when it comes to money? Because that is telling you basically where you are. For example, if you go to the store and then you buy something and then you start feeling bad about what you bought, or you start feeling like, okay, damn, if I buy this, then how I'm gonna get this. And then if you start dwelling in that, then it shows you that you're coming from a place with the self-concept when it comes to money that isn't the best. So you're gonna keep perpetuating experiences where it feels like you're losing money instead of having more of it. So
Yeah.
just monitor, what are you thinking when you're spending, because the wealthy version of you that's really wealthy is not having those thoughts too much of, oh my God, how I'm going to get this money back, or I can't get this. You know what I mean? So just measure where you are with your thoughts about how you spend money.
You know what, that is awesome advice. And you know what? I found that in my journey as well. So what I did, right, is I took a page out of the Bible. I remember we used to go to church and they used to say, you know what, every, dollar you give it to the church, you get it back sevenfold. So I was like, well, let's put my spin on this because I'm God of my universe. Every time I went to go spend money, and I still do this day, I said, every dollar I spend, I get, 1,000 times back within a week. And I do every time I put my card in that machine or tap it every single time, because you know what? I had that exact anxiety whenever I was spending money, like, oh my God, how much is this going to be? How much is in my account? And then I just went, no, you know what? No, every dollar I spend, I get, you know what, do 10,000, do 1,000,000, just do whatever number, shoot for the moon, you'll land in the stars. Something will come.
Exactly.
I mean, or make it believable. Like me, I have no problem saying, look, at every dollar I spend, I get 10,000, 20,000 within a week. But if you've got resistance saying that, you know what, do it within where you feel comfortable, right? So, and then keep, growing from there, right? But if you're really standing in your power and believing, that your thoughts create, you won't have that resistance, right?
Exactly. And another thing that I learned about, well, it's just with anything too, but it's talking about money. So I'm going to use the money an example. It's all about perspective too, right? Because $100 can be a lot of money to somebody, and that same $100 can be like literally nothing to like someone who's like really wealthy, a billionaire. So it's just all about your perspective and where you are and just what feels natural and safe to you. But just make sure if you want more, you're increasing your numbers and you're regulating your emotions when it comes to money and how you spend.
Exactly. There's no room for emotions. Just be the observer of your life and, put your order in and, just watch, it's like, it's like, I mean, I don't know about you, but when I put my order in for the pizza, I know it's coming and I'm not like freaking out asking where it is every minute. Well, maybe if I'm hungry, but not out of doubt that it's not coming, just out of hunger, you know what I'm saying? But, it's like, put your order in and trust that it's coming, and if you do see that it's not there, just reaffirm it. Like, not a big deal, just throw the affirmation back in again. Doing the mental diet, putting in the affirmation should never, feel like work. You should enjoy doing it. I mean, it's your genie in a bottle. Like, it's like, oh, I can have whatever I want, but I just don't like thinking about it. Come on, like thinking about it, intend. I intend. It feels good to do a mental diet, to think about what I want, to be excited about manifesting what I want, right? It's not a chore. That what drains us is the negative thinking and the worrying, and the living in like anxiety land, and you don't need to be there. That's a choice, right?
Exactly. Whenever I worried too much about something, I learned that for one, it was literally for no reason. It was like a waste of energy. That's the best way, or waste of just mind space, because I could have been thinking just something even better that would probably even give me a better outcome. But worry is a waste of time. And I think it was Albert Einstein that said worry is misuse of the imagination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And yeah, it
exactly.
you are here to be abundant. You are here to experience your joys. And I think that the only thing that gets in the way of that is the traumas that and the way you thought about your traumas and the way you perceive life from those traumas is that you attach to that. That's what just got in the way of delaying your abundance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, once you start getting through those stories and and changing them, the whole reality changes. So also with manifesting money, well, one or two more things before we go here is, clean out your old story. Do you feel guilty about manifesting money? Do you feel do you feel like money is evil? Like, what are the stories you heard when you were younger? I think it's very important to look at those beliefs, because your beliefs stay in play until you identify and change them. And, especially with money, a lot of times, if you're already in your 30s, 40s, or even your 20s, I mean, you've got 20 years of listening to your parents about money, right?
Exactly. And when I was younger, I always knew that I wanted to grow up and be extremely rich. But I used to always think to myself, how does the rich people get rich? Like, what made those people get rich and why some people don't? And it is because of how they think about money and themselves in relation to it.
Exactly. 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 Thank you so much, Othania. This is great. I intend everybody manifest the check in the mail. Comment below. I claim it.
Yes. Money, 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 money. I intend that this year you learn and you realize that all it took was to change how you think about money. And now you're just calling it in and you're getting whatever it is that you want and you feel satisfied and happy.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for sharing your success stories today, Othania.
All right. Until next time, guys.
See you in the next video. Bye-bye.